Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. So spring is on the way and today we are starting our seeds. I am so excited. This video is going to be a bit of a vlog style, which I think will be really fun. So we will be starting our seeds. I have all my seeding equipment behind me right here. So I have all that ready to go. And before we actually do that, I want to go to the garden center to pick up some plants for some spring planters. I'm not going to be assembling the spring planters in today's video. I'm just going to get the materials to do that. So it definitely doesn't feel like spring today because this morning it was snowing, which is crazy. Even though it's been like warm the past couple of weeks, it actually snowed and we're actually supposed to get more snow in the next couple of days, which is crazy. But we're going to power through. I'm all bundled up. I have a thick sweater on. I'm all warm and cozy and we're going to get out to the garden center, get our plants, and then come home and start our seeds. All right, and here is my seed starting equipment for the year. I have all of my seeds here already laid out and organized. So we have our tomatoes here, peppers and other vegetables, herbs and flowers. And all of these are from West Coast Seeds. You guys know I'm a brand ambassador for them and they have probably the best seeds I have ever grown. They are the best. The germination rate is amazing and they're just great plants, great yields overall. I love West Coast Seeds. So I have all those laid out, and this year, instead of doing the soil in the trays, I'm actually going to use up these Jiffy Pellets. I've had these for a few years now, and I just want to kind of get rid of them so they're not taking up any more space. So we're going to use these, and essentially what these are just little dehydrated soil pellets. And oh, there we go, that's the right way. And all you do is just soak them in water, and they puff up, and you can plant your seeds inside. And they are very small cells, but it's good to kind of get the seedlings started. And then once they're established, you can pot them up into larger trays with soil. So yeah, we're going to be using these up this year. And I've grown with these before. They work out really well. I also have my whole container of seeds here. And I'm going to go through this one more time just to make sure I didn't miss anything for what I'm going to plant this year. But I think I got everything because I've checked this multiple times. But I think checking one more time would be a good idea. And then I also have my bucket of labels. I just use popsicle sticks and a Sharpie to label everything. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to use this because these little pellets are small and I can't actually label them with a popsicle stick yet. But once I pot them up into larger containers, I'll be able to use those. So I'll save them out because it'll probably be used in like a couple weeks or so. So that's all the seed starting equipment for now. The only other things I have to do is get my grow lights and my shelf out of the basement, and then we'll be good to go when we come back home. So with all that said, let's head out to the garden center. All right, so we headed out to Garden Works. We go to the Mandeville location because it's the closest one to our house. And there they have a nice little cafe. So we stopped and got some breakfast in the morning. We split an almond croissant and a bacon and corn muffin. It was so good. And then we went browsing. We saw a bunch of West Coast seeds. It was literally a wall of seeds and it was amazing. I was in total heaven. And then we walked into the actual garden center where they have all the plants. This is the tropical section and it's so warm and beautiful. And then we went out into the covered area and we saw all of the spring plants. They all look so beautiful and I love seeing all the color in the garden center. So for my spring planters, I'm putting them in the front of our house and I knew for sure I wanted to have some ranunculus. It is my favorite spring flower and it is fairly expensive to buy as a cut flower. So if you grow it at home, it is a lot cheaper and they're just so beautiful. They're like my favorite. We also took a look at some hyacinths and some other flowers, and then we noticed this beautiful display of just some tops of flowers nestled in a bird bath with water. This was absolutely stunning. I took like 1,000 pictures of this when I was in the store, but look at how beautiful this is. I love it. So then after that, we looked around a little bit more, and then we decided to go out into the yard to see if they had a specific hydrangea that I was looking for. All right, so we're out here at Garden Works. David's having a great time, but we found the hydrangea that I ordered and it is like $10 cheaper, so I actually canceled my order from where I ordered it and I'm gonna buy a new one. So I'll show you the hydrangea. Well, there she is, incredible hydrangea, so pretty. Great structure on this plant too. So yeah, it's a good thing we went out and checked in the yard even though it's like cold. It's not raining though. But they have such beautiful plants here and the inside is so full of color. It's so nice. So we're gonna get some stuff for some spring planting for some pots And yeah, then we'll go home and do some seed starting. So it'll be a fun gardening day. All right, we just got back from Garden Works and Pearl has done a thorough inspection of all the plants that we bought. So we have everything in here. We have some white ranunculus and some yellow ranunculus for the planters. We also have some hyacinths. These are actually bloomed already, so I should have actually got some that are like more closed, but they smell so good. So we're gonna put those in the pots. Also got some really nice violas. I have to show you the pattern on these. Look at how gorgeous. The purple edge. We're definitely going for a purple, white, and yellow theme for the planters this year, so that is perfect. And then I also got some anemones. These are purple anemones. And normally I grow anemones like from the corms itself. I never really buy them already started from the garden center, but these are going to be so pretty. I wonder if there's, oh yeah, there's a picture. It's the purple one. So very excited for that. And then not for the planters, I don't think I might put these up in the Mediterranean garden that we're planning, but we have some sassafrage and these are so whimsical and beautiful. So yeah, an extra little bonus plant to have for a garden upstairs. So yeah, that is our haul from Garden Works. So that's everything for the planters. I'm not going to be doing any planting of this stuff yet. I'm actually going to put them outside during the day and bring them in at night just until the temperatures kind of aren't so cold in the evening because they're going down to 0 and I don't want any of these plants to die. So yeah, I'll be doing that for a couple weeks, or probably just not even a couple weeks, so probably like a couple days. And then I'll actually plant up the planters and then they'll be outside permanently. So hopefully we don't have any more like really, really cold weather. Hopefully everything stays around like 5 or 6 degrees because that's what these plants will tolerate. So I'm just gonna pop these plants outside. I'm gonna get changed so I'm not like sweating when we're doing our seed starting. And then we'll get started. Whew. All right, I hope this fits. Oh, just fits. Yes. Perfect. So to hold all my seeds that I'm starting this year, I'm using a black shelf. It's just a plastic shelf that we got at Canadian Tire, and it comes apart, which is really nice for storage. But I brought that up from the basement. We are actually using it for storage, so I took everything off the shelves and brought it upstairs and assembled it again. And this shelf is really great. It is very lightweight, easy to move around, and it can hold a lot of stuff. So after the shelf is assembled, I am going to hang up my grow lights, and this is the brand that I use. They're a great LED grow light, and they were fairly expensive up front. I am not going to lie, any grow light is pretty expensive. I think I bought these probably 3 or 4 years ago now, and they were about $70 each, which is a lot, but if you do take care of them really well, they will last you a long time. So to set these up, I'm going to put 2 lights per shelf just so that the plants get an even amount of light across the entire shelf. And then I just simply plug them all into a power bar. The power bar allows you to turn all the lights on and off at the same time, but you can also turn each light on and off individually as well. And I really like these lights because they came with some holders. So these are metal holders, and all I do is loop them underneath each shelf, and then they just simply hook onto each light. These are wonderful, and it makes hanging up these lights so easy. Now that the shelf and grow light was set up, it was time to start our seeds. So I'm just moving all my stuff off of my table here, and I'm going to add a piece of plastic over top just to protect it from any water damage, because we will be rehydrating our seed starting kit, our little Jiffy pods here. And for that, all we need is a watering can full of water and, of course, our little Jiffy pod pellets. Now, I actually found an entire tray that I hadn't opened yet that already contains some pellets. So I decided to use that because I can use the tray to hold some seedlings once they are started and potted up. So took that out, and obviously they were a little bit messed up. So I just went ahead and put them back into each of their little cells. And to rehydrate them, all I did was pour some water from the watering can over them. And as you can see in this time lapse, they do plump up quite a bit. And I do add water multiple times just so that they rehydrate properly and it's all thoroughly hydrated. Now, while I find these Jiffy pellets really handy for gardening, I do find it a little difficult to cover the seeds with soil once the seed's already planted in the pellet. So what I do for that is I actually take off the netting of a couple of Jiffy pellets, and then I just rehydrate that in water. And what this does is gives you a little bit of loose soil so that you're able to actually cover your seeds once they're sown. Once your seed is planted, take a little bit of that rehydrated soil and pop it on top, and it is like the best hack ever. It makes seed starting so easy. Alright, so now that our Jiffy pellets have all plumped up, they're looking hydrated, and the tray is much heavier than before because you can tell it absorbed so much water. They're all puffed up and looking good, and I have our seeds here that we're ready to start. So here is a pile of all of our vegetable and herb seeds that I'll be sowing, and I also have a small pile of flowers. Now the flowers I'm going to do in this tray. I'm going to keep all my flowers in this tray and then all my vegetables and herbs in a separate tray here. And I'm very excited to start planting. Now, these pellets are a little finicky to plant in because they're so small. And what I like to do to improve planting in these is to actually take a chopstick and just go in, and where there's the hole in the middle, I just kind of push the chopstick in and create a little hole within that, just so that I can plant the seed in there. So I don't do it very deep because most of the seeds we don't need to sow very deep. So I just like to kind of open the space, maybe pull back the netting a little bit to ensure that the seed has room to grow. And then once all these are complete and we plant the seeds, I'll go in with that soil that we rehydrated, and I'll just sprinkle a little bit on top, and it's way easier to plant the seed that way. So that's a good hack, rehydrating a couple of these and just adding it on top as soil. It's really smart. Now for all my seeds, I'm going to be doing one variety per cell. And to keep track of that, I actually created a little spreadsheet here of both trays. And when I go ahead and plant the different varieties of seeds, I'll write down what seeds is in each cell. And when I'm working with Jiffy pellets, this is the way I like to do it because you can't really label these. It is a little bit easier if you're doing like a whole row as one variety and you can kind of keep track of it that way. But when they're all going to be different, you know, these aren't very conducive to adding labels or anything like that to actually label each cell. So we drew a map and we'll just write the different seed varieties in each of the cells, and we can keep track of it that way. So that's going to be my system for this year. Now with doing one variety per cell, I'm going to do the 2 seeds per cell method because I want to make sure that I don't have to come back and replant things. I want to ensure that we have some germination. And if you plant 2 seeds per cell, you basically double your chances. And I have some herbs. I'll probably just do a little sprinkling of herb seeds and then just kind of let it grow, separate them as they grow a little bit bigger. But yeah, should be fun, fairly straightforward, and I'm excited to get to planting. Yeah, this is probably one of my most favorite days of the year, starting seeds. It is so much fun to plant seeds and watch them grow. It is the best. So very excited for this gardening season. I think this year's seed starting feels a little bit weird to me because we're doing such a small amount. If you saw my previous seed starting videos, you'll remember I used to do trays and trays and trays of seeds. It was crazy. And you know, when we had the garden that big, I was able to do that. It was super fun, and I had the space to grow all those different plants and stuff from seed. But now being in the townhouse, we have a much smaller space, but I'm very fortunate that like even planting this many seeds or this many different varieties of seeds is even possible. So very fortunate. And yeah, even though it does feel a little bit weird, I am still very excited for gardening this year. All right, so all the holes are complete. Now I'm gonna drop in some tomato seeds. I'm gonna start off with the Sweet Million variety. These are so good. I love these seeds so much. And I have to get new ones next year. Oh, I might be able to get away with it. I'm gonna spread them out. I'm gonna use my chopstick to kind of push them into the soil, spread out the netting a little bit so they have space. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that soil we rehydrated, not a lot. Just gonna flatten it into like a little piece and then just pop it right on top of the seeds. And then in probably like, normally my tomatoes actually germinate in like 5 days. So probably in like a week, we'll be seeing these shoot up. So yeah, okay, first one's done. I can't forget to label them. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna do short form, I think, so SM. This will be my tomato row, and then I just labeled SM for Sweet Million. So, first one done, 30 something more to go. So seed starting, like I said, is one of my favorite days of the year. Seed starting for me is such a meditative experience. I like to do this in the peace and quiet where I can sit and just plant my seeds, think about how they're going to grow in the garden, what they're going to look like, how they're going to taste, dream about all those beautiful sun-ripened tomatoes I'm going to eat. And every year that I do this, I know I'm going to have great success with my seeds because I am using a lot of seeds from West Coast Seeds. West Coast Seeds is an amazing seed company out of British Columbia, Canada, where I live. So it's a local company to me, and I absolutely love them. They have such a great variety of plants to select. The germination rate is amazing. And every year I get a really great harvest and yield from each of the plants that I grow from seed. And if you're interested in learning more about West Coast Seeds or trying out their seeds for yourself, I am currently running a contest on my Instagram where you can enter to win a $50 e-gift card to westcoastseeds.com that you can put towards any purchase. Head over to Instagram to get all those details, and good luck in the contest. Whoever wins this is going to be so happy, and I can't wait to see what they select. And now we're all done. The seeds have been sown, so I'm just going to cover them with some dome lids at this point. This will help keep all the moisture in and will help the seeds germinate. Once the seeds have sprouted, I'll actually remove the domes, and then we don't need them anymore for the rest of the seed starting season. So I just brought them upstairs, put them on my shelf here. I didn't turn on the grow lights yet. I won't do that again until they germinate and start growing. But this is what it looks like. And in literally 5 days, this is what our cells were looking like. I did a little bit extra seed starting afterwards, but I am so pleased with the results. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me go out to our local garden center and get some plants and also do my seed starting. I know there's so many different ways to grow seeds, and if you're using Jiffy Pellets, I hope these gave you some extra little tips on how to grow seeds in these little cells. To follow along on my gardening journey this year, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. I'll be updating you on how my seeds turn out and how our garden turns out. And if you're interested, make sure you head over to my Instagram to enter into my $50 West Coast Seeds gift card giveaway. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.